Thanks for coming back to Horse Talk Live. We've got great guests with us today. We're going through down the line here, finding out what makes each of them special. And we stopped talking about, or we were last talking about Kade Mills and his role at the Great Alaska Horse Expo. We saw some colts starting there. But Allison, what do you like about Kade? What drew you to him?
Well, actually, I met him. I knew his dad from showing cow horses, Doug, and has a great program. He's a great guy. And so I was up visiting the main event, kind of getting my feet wet and seeing some expos. And Kade was competing in that challenge and actually won the Trainers Challenge there. Actually won the next Trainers Challenge at the main event also. You know, and I really like the way he looks at horse training and horses. And he's very capable, but he still cares about horses and the well-being of the horses. And I mean, it's very consistent with the things that I believe in, and that's nice to find. And I mean, he's the youngest person to ever win a Trainers Challenge. I mean, he's the only person to have won a Trainers Challenge twice in the same year. I mean, very successful in this part of it. So I just, and you know, really personable and has stayed in touch with people. I mean, really cares about people understanding and taking away horsemanship. And horsemanship is such a big, important thing.
Yeah. Well, Kade, it was really obvious to me when we were talking earlier that you do appreciate a horse and you want the horse to enjoy their job and last a long time. Where did you gain that appreciation?
I always wanted to show cow horses, so the more or any kind of futurity horse I thought was a really cool try and see how it goes thing. And the more I started to see is that horses that weren't ready for it were being pushed past to a certain point. So you have horses that are 5 and 6 years old and they're sore and lame or can't be rode and have to be a broodmare or a stall horse. I wanted to see what would happen if, you know, these horses that were shown in futurity, what happened if you didn't show them until their 4-year-old year? What would be the spin-off of that? So it kind of, I started to play around with that and started to realize that sometimes on a horse, instead of pushing, if you back off, you'll get a lot farther too. And once I learned that, it started to be fun to try things. You know, when a horse is starting to have trouble, instead of trying to push that hard spot, I'd try to back off, and sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, and try to figure out why.
Okay, that sounds awfully smart to me. At such a young age too, to realize that.
I'm just saying.
So what do you have going at home now? Are you taking outside horses? Are you competing yourself? What's going on?
I have a futurity horse. I'm going to show in the cow horse in Canada next year. I'm not sure if I'll make it to the big show down in the States and stuff, but we'll see how it goes. I'm talking with the college right now about teaching the horse instructor course there and maybe teaching the cow work stuff there. So I got a lot going on, but definitely taking outside horses and kind of doing clinics. I go to Europe next week to do clinics in Switzerland and get to have some fun over there. So.
And you just won another big Trainers Challenge. What was that?
I just had one in Innisfil, actually. It was kind of by my hometown there in Alberta, and they have one that's the only trainer challenge that I know of that you can just pay your entry fees and play. Usually you have to be invited, and it's a very upscale thing, but we had variations of every kind of trainer you can imagine. It was such an interesting thing, but yeah, I've went 3 years. In my first year, I finally won it this year. So.
Good for you. It sounds like we have lots to expect in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
From Kade.
I hope so.
Well, me too. We'll be looking for you. Well, let's talk about Kimberly now and how Kimberly came in to be a part of the expo.
Well, actually, Kimberly lives in the same town as I do, but we're both pretty busy and really never had crossed paths until, you know, we're both going to be in the Northwest Washington Horse Expo that's coming up here in the beginning of October. And with the Alaska Expo, I was just running to try to find an English trainer, you know. And so I saw that she was going to be in this, and we have some mutual friends, so I contacted her and immediately, I mean, really enjoy her personally. We're friends, but she has such a great outlook. She has a great foundation in Pony Club and understanding of that, which is huge in Alaska, and she was already going to Alaska the next weekend for a clinic. She'd been a part of that. So, you know, and over that, she does a great job of really explaining things well and likes people and loves horses and
very
really
enthusiastic.
She is very enthusiastic and just a great person and really a great horsewoman. So that's, I mean, those are things that I really respect in Kimberly for sure.
Well, let's get to know you more, Kimberly. We know you started out in Pony Club, and so how did that shape where you are now?
I gained a definite appreciation for working different disciplines. It's really easy in our industry to say, okay, you know, I'm a working cow trainer, I'm a dressage rider, I'm a jumper. But there's so much that we can gain from working with other disciplines. And that really stemmed from Pony Club because we have the eventers, the hunters. They just started a Western track that I'm really excited about developing. So that's then transferred to this last year, getting involved with Western dressage, is being able to take classical dressage and the principles that are tried and true over centuries of development and help the horse along the way and really, come at it with the horse first mentality.
So explain that a little bit further. So people like us, the three of us who ride Western, can then do some of the dressage techniques?
Yeah, so dressage, there's kind of different variations, the French style, the Spanish style, the German style. I've mostly studied the German techniques and styles of it. But we're coming at it from a very progressive approach. Establish one thing before you move on to the next. So establish rhythm with your horse or speed control before you head up and try to get them to bid up or accept the contact. And making sure that you're following a progression and utilizing exercises within kind of your goal. And that's where my business is now driven into the 3 stars, is each star represents a goal. So what are your 3 stars? They're different from my 3 stars for this horse. And this horse's 3 stars or 3 main goals or what you're shooting for may vary onto somebody else's. And so it's finding a program that's right for that horse and that rider at that time and following the progression set forth by our ancestors in order to find it.
Wow. She's got this down.
Way better at this.
I know.
How good as she is.
Well, how was your experience? What were the kids like working in Alaska?
Oh my gosh,
How
they
was
were
that?
so much fun. They are such an amazing group. There's a reason I go up there year after year. This was my first time in Kenai, down in Nilchik. I cannot say it. And a beautiful country. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Typically, I go up to Anchorage and to Fairbanks to work with the pony clubs, and it's just such an enthusiastic group. I went out the day before and I did a certification for them, which is a testing through Pony Club. And so I got to know the kids a day before the expo started, and I had sold a pony up there to this group like 3 weeks before. She had just gotten this pony and came out and did every clinic. She's like 9 or 10, like she's young. And she kind of like became our little mascot of the weekend. And so, I just love their appreciation for their horses. They're thoughtful, they groom them so well, and they were out walking their horses when they weren't riding, and they all took off and did a beach ride, and, they were just really appreciative that we were there and really excited to learn from us.
Well, I think that is obvious in the fact that everybody showed up for every demonstration to participate. They were definitely happy to have you guys there.
It was fun, and there's a big variety of horses, too. I mean, like I said, I had a 30-year-old horse, and the horse that was on the cover of the Northwest Horse Source magazine, which was the, official publication for our expo, and Karen Pickering is a great gal. She came up, too. And the horse that was on the cover of that, Tango, is like a Welsh Friesian cross, and I used him for my demonstrations. I know Kimberly used him. A little girl participated. And what was even fun, too, is a lot of the adults said, wait, the kids get horse camp. We should really treat this more like a grown-up horse camp. Because we talked about the kids, but there really were probably more adults participating.
Sure. Well, let's see Kimberly working with the students in Alaska.
Little tap, tap on the shoulder. Little tap, tap with the shoulder. Lean back, tap, tap on that shoulder. Keep him straight. Keep him straight. Haley, you can halt right there. And try your 2-point. So what you're going to do is stand up in your stirrups, and then you're going to lean forward a little bit. Excellent. Now, ladies, please put your reins into your left hand. You're going to put your right hand in the small of your back, holding that 2-point. Reins into your left hand, and once more. Right hand behind the small of your back. And same exercise, 5 times. Walk on, Emily. Everyone will steer for you. So it's your job to get them right to the middle of that pole. Using your leg, atta girl. Keep your reins short, they got too long again. And ladies, back to trot. Look, hands stay steady. Wait, good. Give those horses a big pet. Don't override. What I mean by that is don't get super handsy and pushy. Good girl. Nice. Give him a big pet. I'm going to have you do it one more time. Where was your recovery? Never want to teach your horse to just stop after a jump, so follow through. Excellent work today, guys. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to work with each one of you. It was definitely fun seeing the progression of each horse through the understanding of the 3 different controls that we talked about today for you guys.
Okay, so we got to see Kimberly there. We've seen a little bit of everybody coaching up and all the interested students that you had, adults, kids, everybody. And it looks like you had good weather there too.
We did. I mean, we were very fortunate. It was like in the 70s and super nice. It just rained a little bit the last day, so we were real fortunate.
When was it exactly?
It's the 22nd through the 24th of June.
And will you keep it around that same time next year?
It is. I think it's a weekend later this next year. And we're hoping to like try to incorporate a rodeo camp and like and maybe the quarter horse show or something like that, so that everybody can be there this time. Yeah, that we're not missing anybody.
And people can find out everything they need to know at the Great Alaska
Horse Expo.com. Yeah.
Okay. Anything that you're going to do different next year that people can get excited about?
You know, I just think the big change is that we're going to be doing more participant-based, longer clinics that are maybe a little more expensive, but we'll overlap them a little more this time, just because you know, we only had so much time because of the way we set it up every day. I'd like to see more participation and be able to give them a little more help. I mean, it was so hard to even cover everything in a short period of time. You know, like in my reining demo, there was a 30-year-old horse, you know, a horse that barely had any work, a barrel horse, you know, I mean, just a pack horse, like everything. And you're like, I don't even know where to start. Like, where do you, so being able to be a little more specialized.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to continue talking to the horsemen and women that I have with me here on Horse Talk Live. So stick around. We'll be back with more after this.
Left of me, I guess.
I like how you're directing me. I look over here and it's still over there. That's why I never look until I don't know what to do. To turn before the shot or after? Or really slowly so they can catch up?